We welcome you to a gorgeous night in Chatham. It's just around 7 p.m. and the YD Red Sox are on the road to take on the Anglers for the third time this season. It's Perri Kitei alongside Luke West Poley at Veterans Field. Luke, yesterday, YD lost a close one, 5-4 in 10 innings versus Orleans after a questionable 10th inning where the fog really started rolling in and it was very dark, difficult conditions for baseball to be sure, but at the end of the day, a win is a win and a loss is a loss. Meanwhile, the Anglers coming into today after a 6-0 loss versus Brewster. They had 3 hits, 4 errors, making them 4-8-1 on the season. Today's matchup should be interesting between two teams that have struggled in the field defensively and also haven't been producing at the rate, especially for YD, that we're used to seeing recently.
Yeah, this offense has slowed down a little bit for YD over these past couple of games. No need to panic. I think their pitching over that span has still been really, really good. But YD just ran into a buzzsaw yesterday. As you mentioned, some tough conditions later on in that game. They lost in the 10th off that automatic runner on second base as they gave up the run and they couldn't score it in the back half of the inning. So, like you said, a loss is a loss, but every win streak has to come to an end at some point, and for YD, it was just that time last night. Not necessarily a poor performance by them. We've only seen really 1 or 2 of those this season. Nothing to hang their heads about as they head on the road today to take on Chatham here in a wonderful environment, one of the best in the entire Cape League, as this YD team looks to rebound.
Absolutely. Luke, on the mound today for the Anglers, it's Trey Gibson. Gibson plays at Liberty University. He was 3-5 in 2023 with a 6.75 ERA. He had better numbers his freshman year when he was a freshman All-American in the Atlantic Sun Conference Freshman of the Year, but still nothing to hang his head about. What can YD expect from him today?
Yeah, he's a really solid guy that Chatham has thrown out this season. Gibson, he's thrown 7 innings already for Tom Holliday in this crew. He's a strikeout per inning guy, a little bit more than that actually. Another righty that is going to throw a little bit harder than guys you'd see on the other side for YD. They saw plenty of that heat yesterday from Orleans, 2 of the hardest throwers that staff had to offer. YD is going to see a little more of the same here from Chatham on the road today.
We are the last game to start as well, so let's take a look at the scoreboards across the league before we get things started here right now. In the top of the 8th, the Cotuit Kettleers lead Orleans, who YD faced yesterday. Cotuit yesterday was absolutely blown out by the Bourne Braves, who have been streaking since a tough start to the season. Tied up in the top of the 5th between the Mariners and the Braves. It's 1-1 there. The Whitecaps losing 4-0 to the Wareham Gatemen. And Hyannis versus Falmouth is scheduled to start at the same time as Chatham YD, so we'll keep you updated on all of those scores. Right now, it's R.J. Austin who's comfortably stepped into the leadoff spot for YD, starting up to the righty batter's box. Austin, out of Vanderbilt, has been on base in every game and I believe has hit in every game since he started for YD just a few games ago. First pitch on the way. Austin holds off, takes ball 1 inside. Austin just finished up his freshman year at Vanderbilt. The 0-1, or the 1-0 rather, misses outside, ball 2. Austin playing in left field today. He is a trained infielder. The 2-0 popped up shallow infield, coming over on it. Kent makes the grab. That's out number 1. Austin didn't necessarily need to swing at that. Likely would have been ball 3. Instead, it's out number 1 for Jacob Jenkins-Coward out of East Carolina.
Yeah, Austin's an aggressive swinger. He's going to go after anything close, especially early on in those counts. We've seen him go first pitch swinging a lot. Didn't get 2 pitches to hit to start off that at-bat, but as soon as something was in the range, he swung at it, just got underneath it and popped it up.
First pitch high for Jenkins-Coward. Gibson struggling to bring these lower in the zone. Most of these balls have been missing high, and even at his 6'5" height, that one well above his shoulders. The 1-0 outside and above the zone as well. very crowded night in Chatham, one of the most famed fields in this Cape Cod Baseball League, and I can see why. There's a beautiful sunset on the way. The 2-0 swung on, fouled back into the net. Jenkins Cowart batting .211 through a handful of appearances. The 2-1 swung on and missed, and the count evens up. YD is in their red uniforms tonight with the white pants. The Anglers in the whites with the pinstripes. Very classic. The blue socks on as well. The 2-2 grounded softly up the third baseline. Jenkins Cowart hustling it out. And the throw is on time from Casarilla. A close play at the back, but the stretch from Donahue gets him. That's 2 outs to start the inning.
Yeah, really nice play there on the bare hand from Casarilla. Don't think that Jenkins Cowart thought that ball was going fair. He kind of stuttered a little bit going out of the box, maybe thinking that he fouled that pitch off, and that gave Casarilla just a split second to make a very close play.
Just missed on the contact. We've seen a few of those slow dribblers. Vieira goes swinging at the first pitch, fouled back into the net. He has been on base in every game he's appeared in the Red Sox uniform, however, has been hitless in the last couple after leading the team and the league at one point in batting average. Counts 0-1, regular infield, corners in a little bit, and the curveball drops inside, ball 1. Vieira still up there in average. He's batting .333, the 1-1 at the head, ball 2. First team All Big East selection out of Seton Hall. The 2-1 flied out into center field, going back for it. Can't make the grab. Etzel drops it. Vieira rounding first, coming to second. And it's a stand-up double for Max Vieira. Breaks his hitless streak, and the Red Sox have a runner aboard with 2 on.
Good piece of hitting from Vieira. He smoked that ball to straightaway center. And Etzel might have just gotten a bad read on it, may have taken his first step in, had a chance to leap up and make that catch over behind his head, but just got over him, and it will be ruled a hit, rightly such, for Max Vieira, who snaps the hitless streak.
That ball was on a line out towards center, and I think Etzel thought it was a little bit lower than it was. As you said, Luke, it just carried slightly over his head. Hunter Hines takes ball 1 on the outside. Let's talk about the day he had yesterday. 2 home runs, was responsible for all 4 of YD's RBIs. Hines has a tendency to go for the drama with home runs to the center field. Big hack at this one, foul towards the YD dugout, counts 1-1. Xander Darby on deck if it gets there. Hines plays at Mississippi State. Batting in the lefty box, taking a few practice jabs. Vieira takes his lead on second, covered by Kent. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strike 2. Nice fastball to the outside corner, traveled a bit away from the plate. Hines went chasing. Now back in his stance, Gibson eyeing him, checks the runner. The 1-2 spiked in the dirt, but Hobson keeps it in front. Nice play behind the plate to prevent the runner from advancing. The count is even 2-2 with 2 outs. In the top of the first at Veterans Field, the lights already on a cloudy night that's clearing up a little bit more than was expected. The 2-2 grounded foul up the first baseline. And that'll end the inning. Nice piece of hitting from Vieira, but he's stranded on second. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Matt Etzel leading off for the Anglers tonight. It's the first time we've seen him. He was recently activated. Etzel recently transferred for the 2023 season from J.C. Panola College in Texas, now at Southern Mississippi, where he batted leadoff and started all 66 games. Faces a first pitch fastball right down the pipe from Nick Judas. When Etzel was at Panola Junior College, he was a massively impactful player. The 0-1 on the way, lined up towards left field, and that's a base hit. Etzel leads off. Solid contact on the liner towards Austin, dropped right in the shallow infield. That would be awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Fresh count for Carson Benjo out of Oklahoma State. He absolutely smoked YD the first time these two teams met. It's actually the second time these two teams met, his first time appearing. Benj held off on ball one outside. Now a long pause with the bat vertical before getting back into his stance. Judas staring him down. Pick off towards first. Dug out by Gleed. It was in the dirt. Benj plays at Oklahoma State University and deals a second pitch ball. Counts 2-0. Benj is actually a two-way player as well. He had 10 appearances on the mound, going 2-2. Batted .345 on top of that. Another pickoff towards first. Runner back safely, diving in head first. Etzel had 23 stolen bases for Southern Miss in 2023. He's starting in center field today. The 2-0, low below the knees. And Benj is facing a 3-0 count. Day leans down to grab some dirt, rub it on his hands for better grip, theoretically. Infield backed up, no shift on. The 3-0 misses, and that's a 4-pitch walk for Carson Benj. The Anglers start things off with 2 aboard.
This has been a bit of an issue for Judas. ERA very strong at just 2.25 through 2 starts, but in 8 innings, he has walked 6 batters.
Facing Lyle Miller-Green now out of Austin Peay. He's been in the lineup the first 2 times these teams have played. Miller-Green actually transferred from Oklahoma State. There's a big pipeline from Oklahoma State to the Anglers, and with the 5th ball in a row from Judas, there's a coach jogging out to the mound as Connor Dykstra, the catcher, walks out there to have a little chat. Coach Holliday previously coached at Oklahoma State, and I believe his son coaches there now, responsible for that Cowboys to Anglers pipeline.
Yeah, Holliday, one of the more successful Cape League coaches in terms of what he did at the Division I level.
There's actually 3 current or former Oklahoma State players in a row in this top part of the lineup in the 2, 3, and 4 spots. That's Benj, Miller-Green, and Nolan Schubert, who's on deck. Counts 1-0. Judas trying to find the zone, get back under control. Runners on first and second taking their leads. Judas checks on second. Pitch on the way, inside again. Ball 2. The clouds have completely covered the sky once again as the sun continues to set. 2-0 to Miller-Green, no outs. Judas misses again, ball 3. That's his 7th ball in a row. The red light absolutely on for Miller Green in this situation. Judas has to prove himself. Taking his time, swinging that bat below his knees. Now back in his stance. Runners take their leads. It's a small one over on second. The 3-0 off the plate. Ball 4. 2 4-pitch walks in a row. The bases are loaded with no outs in the bottom of the first.
It's tough for Judas because that's a near miss. That's a call that kind of goes either way, and you sort of have to earn with the home plate umpire, where if you're wild and you're around the zone a lot, that's going to be called a ball. You don't really earn that corner.
Judas has quickly worked himself into a jam to start things off against the Anglers, who are at the bottom right now of the East Division. The fresh count to Schubert, first pitch. Way off the plate, a nice stop from Dykstra. 9th ball in a row. We haven't seen any action from YD yet. Looks to be someone just starting to warm up an arm in the YD bullpen. The 1-0. High and away again, ball 2. The last thing Judas wants to do in this situation is walk home run number 1. At least give him the chance to put a ball in play, let his guys back him up in the field. The 2-0 finally finds the zone, a fastball down the middle. And the count's 2-1, the first strike we've seen in a while. That one just felt like proving to himself that he can put it over the plate right now. Lyle Miller Green on first, bench on second, Etzel on third. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs for Schubert. Ball 3 at the shoulders. And Judas is a pitch away from walking run number 1 home. That one 90 miles an hour. A long pause from Judas. Runners taking small leads. The 3-1 swung foul sharply behind us. And it's a full count, first of the night. This is a really important pitch from Nick Judas. The arm swinging now, back in the glove. He sets, glove at the belt. Pitch on the way, low, ball 4, and a run is coming home.
Now batting for Chatham, the second baseman from Vanderbilt. Number 2, Chris Maldonado.
I do see someone walking around in the YD bullpen. It looks to be Jason Doktorzik, who I know is hot today. Might be the first reliever, as we've seen in the past. He has come in a few times in long relief for the Red Sox. Chatham leads 1-0. In the bottom of the first, bases are still loaded for Nick Judas, who deals a first pitch strike to Chris Maldonado.
This could be tough if you're YD. It'll help you out a little bit that you have an off day tomorrow, but if this outing ends early here for Judas, you could eat through your bullpen rather quickly.
The 0-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Really the first time we've seen Judas be ahead in a count so far tonight. Maldonado finished up his freshman year at Vanderbilt. He batted .310, slugging .542. A lot of power in that bat. The 0-2, just off the plate, ball 1. Maldonado plays at Vandy with his brother Nick. Nick was a third-team All-American in 2023. Very successful and talented baseball family. The 1-2, passed ball, Dykstra running for it, and another run scores on the wild pitch. Carson Benj jogs home, didn't even need to slide, and the Anglers lead 2-0.
And that's just another one for Judas that got away from him. Really tough because he got ahead in that count too. Just threw that one past the other batter's box. And Now YD forced to bring the infield in.
The count is 2-2 to Maldonado. Judas deals, swung on, missed. Strikeout number 1. A much needed first out of the inning for the Red Sox.
For YD, you'd love if Judas could just get a little bit of confidence after that first out, settle in a little bit here and try to limit this to 2, and then hopefully if you can calm his nerves by getting him back to the dugout, he can take up a couple more innings for you.
With the batters or the runners advancing, the force is no longer in play, so the inning-ending double play no longer a factor as Caden Kent, the Texas A&M Aggie, steps up to the plate. The lefty hits it deep towards left field. Austin going back for it, makes the grab. Tag up from first. The cannon from Austin is cut off by Judas. The Anglers lead 3-0, and YD gets another out.
Doing your job there if you are Donahue, hitting that ball hard enough, go in the opposite field, nearly got it out, but you'll certainly take the run. And now Nick Judas just needs to retire this next hitter and get out of this inning.
So there's just a runner on second now. It's Schubert as the Anglers lead YD 3-0. Bottom of the first, 2 outs. Fresh count to Caden Kent. Fouls off the first one on the ground, strike 1. Kent is a native of Austin, Texas, plays college ball in his home state. Stands at 6'2" in the lefty box. The 0-1 fouled back into the fence. 0-2, 2 outs. Judas wants to end it here. I'll be interested to see if we see him on the mound again in the second inning, but right now his focus is on this last out. The shift is on. And strike 3 is swung on and missed. YD finally ends the inning, but damage has been done. The Anglers lead 3-0. We head to the top of the second on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. After a brutal start in the first inning, YD back at the plate. It's Xander Darby in the 5 spot, the UCSB Gaucho leading things off. Darby has 4 hits on the season and 22 at-bats. First pitch, a strike right at the knees, counts 0-1. Gibson really just painting the edges of the zone right now. The kick and deal, high and away, ball 1. Regular infield back at the grass, regular outfield as well. We've seen just one shift on the day from Coach Pickler. It was that last batter. The 1-1 below the knees this time, but the frame from Hobson, and it's a called strike 2. Chatham leads 3-0 in the top of the second. The 1-2 to Darby. Misses just inside. A tough hold pays off, and it's 2-2. The slider, 77 miles per hour from Gibson. Could not get Darby to chase. Gibson deals. Ball 3 inside, and the count runs full. Casarilla and Donahue really protecting the lines right now. A big gap up the middle in the 6-4 hole. The payoff pitch, fouled, out of play. A real defensive swing from Darby. Getting some calls from the dugout. Come on, Darby. As YD trying to fight back here after facing an early deficit. Another payoff, lined into right field, and it's a base hit for YD. They've got a leadoff guy aboard.
Nice at bat from Darby, a guy who's been seeing the ball better lately. You can tell after arriving late, starting to make that adjustment to the wood bats. Hit that ball pretty hard out there towards right, and also beat a little bit of a shift that was on him with that wide gap on the right side.
Yeah, I stated before, the anglers really guarding the lines. That one just snuck through the 3-4 hole, which had widened. Infield now pinched towards the middle, and Dub Gleed is hit in the helmet right at the shoulders. YD with 2 aboard and nobody out. The first pitch to Dub Gleed. Nailed him, really wore that well.
Hobson out to talk with his pitcher. You wonder, with the rain that was in the forecast and the clouds that have been covering things all day, if there's any sort of humidity. The air feels a little bit thick, if maybe that's forcing these pitchers to lose their grip, as now we've seen the guys on each side deliver at least a little bit of wildness through the first couple of innings.
It's Brady Day at the plate, who's really seen an upswing in his average as of late after adjusting to the wood bats. Day plays at Kansas State. First pitch to him, inside, a fastball for ball 1. Day going into his redshirt junior year. 2 runners aboard, shows bunt, lays it down the third base line. He's legging this one out, picked up by Casarilla, who beats him with the throw, but he does his job and the runners advance. That bunt just had a little too much juice on it. Casarilla had enough time to get there. But a nice job by Brady Day. We've seen YD try to lay down the bunts quite a few times recently, and they've really struggled. They've been pushing them foul. But this time, Day delivers.
Casarilla's got a cannon over there at third. That's the second time now he's beat out a close play with his arm.
Casey Cook hits it up the third base line, and it drops fair, going all the way to the corners. He's rounding second, and 2 YD runners come across. It's 3-2. Cook attacked the first pitch of his at-bat. I hadn't even looked up from my scorecard, and he was already on second base.
Number 22, Connor Dykstra.
Just kind of lifted one out there. Pitch that was a little bit in on him. It's a late swing the opposite field, but was able to get enough barrel to that ball to drive it out pretty good in the outfield, about 3/4 of the way up, right up the third base line, and an easy 2-bagger for him after that.
Brings up Connor Dykstra in the 9 spot. One of 2 catchers on the YD roster. He's really struggled to start things off, but also hasn't seen the field very much since he joined YD. Score is 3-2 Chatham in the top of the second. 3 hits already. And Dykstra leans back, To avoid a ball, Gleed advances, it's Cook advances from second to third on the wild pitch. Counts 2-0 to Connor Dykstra. As you've said, Luke, another wild pitch. We've seen a lot of wildness now from both Gibson and Nick Judas in the bottom of the first for the Red Sox. Cook, the tying run on third, 2-0 to Dykstra, lined into right field. That's a base hit. Cook comes around to score. Dykstra on first, and the game is tied.
Really nice first hit of the season for Dykstra. Going to the opposite field. So much stuff going the opposite way today for YD. As the righty just pokes one out there. And not a bad time to get his first hit of the year as it ties up this ball game. YD shows you the importance of just limiting that damage, as Judas was struggling a little bit to start, but prevented something too lopsided, and his bats pick him up here in the second.
RJ Austin at the top of the order is hit by the pitch. It was inside, just clipped the jersey. And our home plate umpire waves him over to first. Runners on first and second again. Still just one out for Jacob Jenkins-Cowart.
Number 19, Jacob Jenkins.
Gonna get a visit out from Caden Hobson behind the plate once more, as Caden Kent, also the shortstop for Chatham, will trot in. And now here comes the coach. Was waiting on when that was going to happen. And here it is out of the Chatham dugout.
Visit short.
Jenkins-Cowart, this is a really good situation for him to be in. He's a power hitter. Obviously, the situation good to drive in some runs, first and second, one out. But he's got a pretty short porch out there in right field. He can get good wood on it. This would be high time to get his first home run of the year.
Talking with some of the players during pregame, they were talking about how much Jenkins-Cowart loves going to right field, really pulling that ball. Will King was talking about how at his home field, Eastern Kentucky, they have a consistent wind going out in right field. They said, Jacob, you'd have a field day over there.
Wind is blowing out for him here, too, out there towards right center. So this is a good spot for the ECU slugger.
Jenkins-Cowart, the first team All-AAC selection, faces the first pitch. Low in the dirt for ball one. Batted .292 in 2023. The 1-0 fouled back off the helmet of Hobson. Counts even 1-1. Runners on first and second. That's Austin on first. Dykstra on second. One out. Top of the second. Things are tied 3-3 between the Red Sox and the Anglers. The 1-1. Slow roller up towards first. Bounces foul right on the line. Jenkins-Cowart with a 1-2 count. It's the second time we've seen kind of that missed contact chopper. The last one up the third base line, this one up the first base line, but luckily for him, it rolls foul. The last one stayed fair, and he gets another chance to swing away. Sporting that purple arm sleeve to represent the East Carolina Pirates. The runners take their leads, the 1-2, low ball 2. Gibson was working quickly, now takes his time out of the stretch, counts 2-2. Checks the runners, pitch on the way, grounded up the middle, gets through the gap. Dykstra is held up at second. The stop sign is put on as the throw comes home, but Gibson cuts it off. And a nice hit from Jenkins-Cowart, just bounced right through the 6-4 hole, and he's aboard. Bases are loaded.
The shortstop, number 29.
Vieira absolutely scorched a ball his first time up. He's going to bring in some confidence. That was the first hit of the game for YD back in inning number 1.
Vieira now has 3 doubles on the season. responsible for 7 runs batted in, no home runs yet. And he holds off on a first pitch strike. The score is 3-3 at Veterans Field at 7:36 p.m. It's been a long first inning and a half. Still just 1 out for Vieira. Second pitch on the way, goes golfing for strike 2. Counts 0-2, still 1 out. Double play could end the inning. For the first time that I remember seeing, there is a pitch clock up on the scoreboard. The 0-2 just misses the inside of the zone for ball 1. Fresh 20 seconds up there for Gibson. Small leads from the runners. Dykstra over on third. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Vieira back to the dugout. And Hunter Hines, who had 4 RBI and 2 home runs yesterday, is coming back for his second time around.
The designated hitter, number 44, Hunter Hines.
See if Hines can make the adjustment after that strikeout back in the first inning. Interested to see how Chatham handles him, a guy that can really hit for power in this bases loaded situation.
First pitch on the way, on the ground. A nice block from Hobson, ball 1.
We discussed also a little bit earlier in the year, one of Hines' perhaps most underrated qualities is his discipline early on in at-bats to get ahead in counts and get that hittable pitch later on that he can take deep.
Now back into his stance, the lefty holds off on pitch 2, ball 2. First ball low and away, second ball high and inside. Gibson working all sides of the zone. The 2-0 popped up foul behind us all the way back into the woods and just misses a big crowd of people, luckily enough. Count moves to 2-1 with 2 outs, bases loaded, tied up 3-3 at Veterans Field. Anglers versus Red Sox. YD has 5 hits already. Ball 3 misses. And now Gibson is at risk of walking a run home. Gibson really taking his time up there. Now set from the stretch. Dykstra bluffs over at third. The 3-1 hit sharply towards right field, and that is out of here. A grand slam for Hunter Hines. He does it again. His 3rd home run in 2 days, and YD leads 7-3. Hunter Hines is unbelievable. When he can put the barrel to the ball, it is out of the park every single time. You could hear the groans from Chatham. Everyone in this park knew that ball was gone. Carson Bench didn't even move in right field.
Hit it onto the street, and it's just the importance of getting ahead in the count. You're in a 3-1, and you force the pitcher with the bases loaded to throw something over the plate. Hines knew what was coming, and he unloaded over the fence, over the hill, and onto the street and right.
Hines now has 21 RBIs. And I believe 5 home runs, which leads the league. Counts 0-1 to Xander Darby. The bases are clear for him. Ball 1 spiked in the dirt, gets behind the plate, but no harm done because the bases are now empty. Counts 1-1. Darby has been a consistent third baseman for YD. He gets good contact out towards center field, but Etzel is camped under it and makes the grab to end the inning. Darby goes to the deepest part of the field and comes up just short, but YD strikes back, came into the second, facing a 3-0 deficit, goes to the bottom of the second, leading through 7-3. Very strong inning from the Red Sox. We'll be back for the bottom of the second on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
The third baseman from Seminole State.
Bottom of the second, YD now leads Chatham 7-3 after a monster top of the second with 6 hits from the Red Sox, including a grand slam. Now it's Xavier Casarilla for his first time around, trying to put the Anglers back in this thing. Nick Judas is back on the mound for a second inning of work after a brutal start to the game. Walked home a run, brought in another on a wild pitch, looking for some redemption here, and a 91-mile-an-hour fastball finds the bottom of the zone, count even 1-1.
7-run inning for YD ties the most in one inning this season, only matching that performance against Falmouth in the late innings.
The 1-1 misses inside, ball 2. Infield slightly shifted over to the left. Day right around second. Big gap between second and first. The 2-1 almost clips the elbow. Counts 3-1. We see Coach Pickler go to the shift time and time again, sometimes really working. This is one of the milder shifts we've seen. The 3-1 breaks a bat on a foul ball. I don't know if the bat actually wasn't broken. Casarilla just let go in the middle of his swing.
He lost his little thumb piece that flew off. It looked like it was the bat handle that just flew off, but the little vibration piece on his thumb, he lost it and just tossed his bat to the backstop.
That's how hard he swung at that pitch. Full count, payoff on the way. Fouled out of play into the woods on the right side. There's a playground over there. And now a mob chasing after it. Count remains 3-2. Bases empty, no outs. Bottom of the second at Veterans Field. The 3-2. Inside, ball 4. Another leadoff runner aboard for the Anglers.
The catcher from UNC Charlotte, number 37, Caden Hobson.
There were a couple of at-bats in that first inning where Judas obviously was just way around the zone, but a lot of these walks have been somewhat competitive. He's got 2 strikes on. He's making near misses. He's just not quite finding that edge of the zone type paint that maybe he's had throughout the rest of his starts this season.
Hobson into his stance, takes ball 1. In the 9th spot, no outs with Casarilla aboard. Hobson has a very aggressive stance. His back elbow really pointed up towards the sky. The front one towards the ground. The bat at a diagonal angle back on his shoulders. Pick off towards first. Not even a tag attempt. Counts 1-0 with no outs. Red Sox lead 7-3. Bottom of the second at Veterans Field. Nick Judas on the mound. The 1-0. High and away, ball 2 to Caden Hobson, the catcher. Hobson plays at Charlotte, native of Redlands, California. Judas deals, high and away again, ball 3. The third 3-0 count we've seen today from Judas. Just a small lead from Casarilla over on first. Pitch on the way. In there, first strike 1. Different outcome from the first 2 3-0 counts we've seen today. Judas battling back, looking to retire 1 early. It's 3-1 to Caden Hobson with Casarilla on first. Infield regular, backed up to the grass. Pitch on the way. Inside, ball 4. First 2 batters walked in the inning.
Now batting for Chatham, the center fielder from Southern Miss, number 12.
Now here comes Scott Pickler. This could be the end of the day. You normally see him out to take the ball, and we'll see here in the second.
There is action in the YD bullpen. A righty hurler looks to be throwing pretty hard, pretty well warmed up.
Longstanding supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy. Cape Cod 5,
still in the meeting. 5 walks for Judas, 2 strikeouts, 9 batters faced. Umpire goes up to break things up. Still unclear if Judas will stay or go. The meeting has yet to break up. And Pickler is going to leave Judas on the mound. Really interesting choice after a long meeting for mound visit number 1.
Judas may have had some convincing to do during that meeting.
Well, it's the top of the lineup, second time through. Matt Etzel at the plate with 2 runners on. He's responsible for Chatham's only hit of the day. And he takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. As saying before the 2023 season, when he transferred to Southern Miss, he was D1 Baseball's #1 ranked impact player out of a junior college. Check swing on ball 1, count evens up. He had 90 hits, 51 runs batted in for Southern Mississippi. A solid group of 5 baseball school. The 1-1, right down the middle, strike 2. Etzel now behind in the count. Runners on first and second. Judas pitching out of the stretch, regular infield. Vieira shifted over just slightly to protect that lead runner on second. Now backs up to the grass. The 1-2 is a called strike 3. Nick Judas did some good convincing and is backing it up. First called strikeout of the night, and YD has 1 down.
Just backdoored that into the edge of the zone there. Ball that's really, really, really tough to hit. One of those that you have to swing at the absolute last second, and it's usually foul if you end up making contact. Instead, Etzel watched it go by, and Judas is 1 step closer.
It's Carson Benj, grounds it up towards second. This could be 2. Day gets the first at second, the stretch at third, and the runner is out. That ends the inning. Really nice turn from Day, and then Vieira as well. Judas retires 2 in just a short amount of time. We head to the top of the third. It's been 48 minutes of game time already in this one at Veterans Field. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Dub Gleed at the plate for his second time around, was hit by pitch on the first pitch of his first plate appearance. He's facing a new pitcher. It's Liam Paddock out of Spokane Community College, who will be attending Gonzaga in the fall. Future teammate Enzo Apodaca in the YD dugout. And Gleed takes a first pitch strike at the bottom of the zone. Paddock played in the West Coast League last summer with the Port Angeles. Gleed fouls it back, strike 2. Paddock really working quickly. Pitched 25 innings in 2023. Big kick and deal outside, ball 1. He has a huge knee lift, comes all the way above 90 degrees. Glove at the letters, big kick and deal above the head again, counts even, 2-2. Dub Gleed with an All Big West second team selection at UC Irvine. The 2-2 above the head again, ball 3, count runs full after starting off 0-2. Gleed played all around the infield at third and first. The payoff, fouled back and out of play. Stays alive for the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Deep breath from Paddock. He has a very quick release. 3-2. High fly ball out towards center field, but Etzel is underneath it, makes the grab. Good contact from Gleed, but just barrel underneath a little too much. And it's Brady Day.
Number 10, Brady Day.
Day had a sacrifice bunt in his first at-bat. Successfully moved runners into scoring position. Now facing a fresh count and ball 1. Brady Day takes ball 2. He was a second team or a All Big 12 honorable mention selection out of Kansas State, was on the All Big 12 tournament team. Postseason as well, had a really strong end to the season. The 2-0. Popped up to the shallow infield, now going back to the outfield. Benj in right, makes the grab, out number 2, 2 high fly balls. Paddock making a miss with the contact.
The right fielder, number 16.
And it's 2 up, 2 down quickly for the Red Sox.
That's what you expect to see out of a guy like Paddock, lefty who doesn't throw super hard, just miss barrels, get that weak contact, get guys to ground out, pop out, soft flyouts to the outfield. Wind aided that ball out towards about mid-outfield, but wasn't hit super hard.
It's Casey Cook out of North Carolina, had a double up the third base line in his first time around. Goes chasing again at the first pitch, this time misses on the check swing, and it's strike 1. Back in his stance, another lefty in this very lefty-populated lineup. The 0-1, grounded up towards second. Maldonado has it. Beats out the runner, out number 3. The fastest side we've seen so far. We head to the bottom of the third. The score remains 7-3 YD. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second, Lyle Miller Green in the righty box facing Nick Judas, who's back again, slightly surprisingly, for his third inning of work. He did finish things up quickly after the mound visit from Coach Pickler in the second, and deals a first pitch strike to Miller Green, who walked in his first at-bat. I imagine Judas is on a short leash right now. The shift is on. There's 3 on the left side of second. The kick and deal just below the zone, ball 1.
He was at 42 pitches through the first 2 innings, which is a lot, but when you consider the amount of base runners that Chatham had, I think he actually managed his pitch count relatively well.
The 1-1. Missed it. Miller Green yet to swing the bat. We'll see if he does here. 2-2 on the way. Just inside, another full count. Green held off on that as well. I don't think we've seen him swing today. The 3-2, grounded up towards third. Darby has it. The throw is in time, out number 1.
Now batting for Chatham, the left fielder from Oklahoma State, number 35, Nolan Schubert.
Judas has definitely settled down out there a little bit, finding his control, 1 up, 1 down, and it's Nolan Schubert who also walked in his first plate appearance. The Oklahoma State Cowboy faces a fresh count, nobody on, bottom of the third. The kick and deal from Judas, strike 1. Schubert was a third-team All-American by ABCA and Rollins. The 0-1 swung on and missed, strike 2. He was a first-team All-Big 12 guy. The Conference Co-Newcomer of the Year, a huge addition for the Anglers this season. The 0-2 fouled back behind our heads. The count stays the same.
Despite that rocky start by Judas, he's only given up 1 hit, so when he's found the zone, he's had success. He's gotten strikeouts as well.
It's just those walk numbers that have been killing him. Another 0-2, high and away, ball 1. Nick Judas plays at the University of Louisiana, Monroe. The 1-2 on the ground, through the gaps, all the way out to R.J. Austin in left field. First hit of the game for Schubert, and a base runner aboard in the third.
The second baseman from Vanderbilt, number 2, Chris Maldonado.
Really nice placement from Schubert. Wasn't the hardest hit ball, but snuck through an infield gap right between short and third. Brings up Chris Maldonado, struck out swinging. First time around, ball 1 is above his head. Judas just finished up his junior year. He's a Louisiana native playing in his home state. Really taking his time. 4 seconds left on the pitch clock. Now into his motion, and it's strike 1. It's really interesting to be able to see the pitch clock for college games. The NCAA does not have that up on their scoreboards. 1-1 with 1 out, pitch on the way. Flied into shallow right field, coming back, and the ball is dropped. So there is a force out at second. 2 outs now. Day went back for it. Cook came in on it. Some communication issues. You could see Day moving away like Cook called him off, and then Casey Cook slides into it. Overran it a little bit. Can't make the grab, but because Schubert was tagged up at first, it's really an easy out. Interesting play as Maldonado essentially replaces Schubert on first. Interestingly enough, that was scored as a hit, not an error. Or maybe it just hasn't been scored yet at all. This one on the ground towards first. Gleed has it, fair ball, and the inning is over. We head to the top of the fourth after some interesting defense from YD in the bottom of the third. Score remains 7-3. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Top of the fourth inning here from Veterans Field in Chatham. Luke West, Poley, Perri, Kitei alongside. We've had a scoreless inning in the third. It remains 7-3 YD, and for the Red Sox, it's 9-1-2 Dykstra, Austin, and Jenkins Cowart coming up against Liam Paddock, back out for his second inning of work. The southpaw who throws exclusively out of the stretch. Lifts the knee and now fires. Swing and a high, towering pop-up, first base side, right on the bag, coming over. Donahue makes the catch, adjusting to his right for out number one.
Absolutely skied from Dykstra. Unfortunate it didn't make it out of play, but the Canadian catcher did have his first hit of the day back in the second, part of that 7-run inning.
Back to the top of the order, R.J. Austin hitless 0 for 1 on the day, but was hit his last time up. The first pitch that just clipped his jersey. First time he'll see Liam Paddock in the first offering. Over the outer half for strike one. Austin, a guy who's been very aggressive at the plate. A lot of first pitch swings from him. If stuff is put in the zone. 0-1. And he takes strike two on the bottom part. Kind of a groan as he drops his hands. A little bit of protest towards home plate umpire Keith Peterson, but he falls down 0-2. Paddock lifts the knee and now deals. That misses the top of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Really interesting start to the at-bat to see Austin hold off on 3 pitches in a row. As you said, Luke, usually goes after it early.
The 1-2 deal. This one driven out to deep left field, going back. Schubert at the wall, and it's out of here. R.J. Austin goes yard for the first time this season. It's a solo shot to lead off the fourth. Second home run by these YD bats today, and the Red Sox have another insurance run. It's 8-3.
What a well-placed ball from Austin over by the scoreboard. Thought it might hit it, missed just underneath. A really solid contact off the bat. I thought that was out of here. What a way to come back, starting the count 0-2. Holds off, was really waiting for his pitch, and he found the right one.
Now Jacob Jenkins Cowart sees a first pitch, and it hits him. On the hand, Jenkins Cowart let out a yelp when that ball hit him, but now tossing his pads aside, will trot over towards first base, and YD has another base runner with 1 gone in the fourth.
I will say, Luke, the few games that we've seen YD struggle with their offensive production at the plate, the next game they come back, it's a completely new team, and today we're really seeing that with 7 hits responsible for 8 runs already.
First pitch to Max Vieira, flies outside for ball 1. Vieira 1 for 2, started the party with a double back in the first inning. One of a few extra base hits, 4 of them to be exact for YD so far. Small lead on first from Jenkins Cowart, looking over at him. Paddock lifts the knee and now deals the 1-0. Misses low and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Vieira went into this game with a 3-game hitless skid after recording a hit in each of his appearances up to that point. Got back to his hitting ways today with that double. The 2-0. Cranked left side, that's gonna drop for a base hit. Hard hit liner, stop sign put up for Jenkins Cowart at second. And YD's got first and second, 1 out in the 4th, looking for more, already up 8-3.
After a couple games hitless for Vieira, I was wondering when we were going to see him again. He's just been too good at the plate to start the season consistently, not just through 2 or 3 games, but through those first 8, 9, 10 games. And today, really making up for lost time. He's now 2 for 3.
Caden Hobson, the Chatham catcher, is out to the mound to talk to Liam Paddock. Lefty, who's committed next year to play at Gonzaga, has had a really strong start, 1.29 ERA through his first 7 innings here on the Cape. 151st ranked pitcher coming out of JUCO into the 4-year college ranks. Meeting has broken up and Hunter Hines is at the plate. First and second, 1 out. First pitch to Hines is a breaking ball right down the chute for strike 1. Hines, his last time up, blasted a grand slam over the right center field wall. 4 of the 7 runs for the Red Sox, as he now crosses the 20 RBI mark on the season in just 15 games. 0-1 pitch. Nearly hit him. He twists away from it. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hines hit that ball not only over the fence, which is 357 in right center. There is a small hill above it that fans sit on, and then a street, and he hit it over all of that. Lefty on lefty, here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, tugged away from his bat, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 8 runs off 8 hits so far for YD. 8-3 is our score in the top of inning number 4 as the Red Sox look to rebound following an extra inning loss yesterday at the hands of the Orleans Firebirds. Paddock looks at each base runner. 1-2 to Hines. Breaking ball, wrapped towards the first base side. It's a fair ball, fielded in foul territory by Donahue. Throws over to second, and it's pulled off the bag. Kent was covering, and our base umpire, Chris Scott, said that Kent went off the second base bag, and everybody is safe for YD. Kent pleading his case. That ball was in there in plenty of time. It was a heads-up play by Donahue, whose momentum was carrying him into foul territory to go over to second, fly out, both coming in the second inning, in which YD brought 10 guys to the plate. Another lefty on lefty. Ducks on the pond for the Red Sox. 1-0 pitch. Spiked down low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Darby had a really strong liner to right field his last time around. Actually, his first time around, last time, popped out. With just 1 out, however, a long fly ball would score a run.
Ahead 2-0. Look back at second from Paddock, now home. He's back to looking over at second, continuing to move back and forth, and now he pitches. That one runs down and in, 3 balls, no strikes.
Pretty good frame from Hobson under the zone, but just couldn't get the home plate umpire to fall for it. And it's a hitter's count for Xander Darby.
3 balls, no strikes. A mixed bag on these from Scott Pickler in terms of swing or no swing. Here comes the pitch, and that's ball 4. Low and away, nothing that Darby could have hit there. And so that brings in a run as Jacob Jenkins Cowart will slowly trot across home plate. And they continue to stay loaded as Dub Gleed is now the batter.
Gleed has been hit by a pitch today, also had a fly out.
3 YD batters have been hit, but that's the first walk by Chatham pitching. Lefty on righty now for Gleed. And the first offering comes home. Snapped high at hat bill height, 1 ball, no strikes.
A game that started off really strong for the A's is quickly falling apart as YD really breaking things open here in the 4th.
Paddock bouncing the right heel. Now he sets, takes a breath just above the belt, looks at first and now fires. Popped up, left side of the infield, mile high, 3 players pursuing, now calling everybody off. The shortstop, Caden Kent, comes to the left of the mound and makes the catch for out number 2.
There was a lot of movement in the infield on that. It looked like it might have been lost in the air at one point, but the A's defense comes through, makes the grab. Looked like I don't even know how to describe it, just a bit of a clown show in the infield with everyone running around going for that.
Brady Day now at the plate for YD. 9-3 Red Sox in the top of the 4th. Bases loaded and 2 outs for Day, who's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. The first pitch runs high and tight, 1 ball, no strikes. Day laid down a beautiful bunt back in the 2nd inning, nearly legged it out, but was just barely thrown out by third baseman Xavier Casarilla for Chatham. Twirling the bat in the lefty box, here's the 1-0. Nearly hits him again, and he evades it. 2 balls, no strikes. Day, a guy who has extra base power in his bat. He was hitless yesterday, but prior to that game was 2 for 2 coming off the bench for YD, a guy who has seen his average climb up into the mid-200s after starting below that 200 mark. 2-0. Burns the top corner for strike 1.
Just a nice placed fastball to make this an at-bat that Day might have to swing in. Didn't leave it quite over the plate, right at the top of the zone.
Paddock's 2-1 on the way. Jammed foul and out of play behind home. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the bases loaded in the top of the 4th. YD leading Chatham 9-3 on the road here from Veterans Field. With the glove on the shoulder, Paddock now sets. And he comes plateward. Down and in, ball 3. Another full count. Runners get a head start here with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
Not even movement at the shoulders for that one on Day. He knew where it was going.
Paddock takes a breath, leaning back on the middle of the bump. Payoff pitch. Swinging a foul tip just out of the glove of Hobson, who had it hit the leather but couldn't squeeze, and we'll have another payoff coming up.
Day staying alive with the bases loaded. YD would hate to strand all these runners, but they have put on 2 in the 4th.
Another 3-2, lefty on lefty. Bases loaded, and now the pitch. Another pop-up, right side, carrying into the shallow outfield. Maldonado backing up and makes the catch with his feet on the grass for out number 3. So Liam Paddock gets out of the inning, but not before YD strikes for 2, highlighted by the solo shot for RJ Austin, and it's 9-3 Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 9-3 YD here in the bottom of the 4th inning from Veterans Field in Chatham. Nick Judas still on the mound, has fought his way through the opening 3 innings and will now face the bottom of the Chatham order 7 through 9 with Caden Kent leading off. Righty on lefty, the first deal. Breaks and hits the top of the zone for strike 1.
After that 3-run start, Judas has gone the last 2 scoreless.
With his front foot offset towards third, he lifts the knee, the 0-1. Comes down near the feet, 1 ball, 1 strike. Judas, a guy that has been strong for YD. This has been his most shaky outing. Has dealt with some walks, though, throughout all of his appearances this season. He's settled in nicely to this game, and his team, of course, has given him the run support. A 9-run performance for YD through 4. 1 pitch, and that's on the inside corner for strike 2. 59 pitches now after that one for the right-hander for the Red Sox. Judas set right at the belt. Now lifts the head, the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got a piece of it, but foul tipped it into the glove. And for Nick Judas, that's strikeout number 5 to begin the bottom of inning number 4.
Number 22, Xavier Casarilla.
Xavier Casarilla coming up now for Chatham. He walked his first time up. Judas in total has walked 5 anglers, hasn't done so though since the second. The first pitch to the righty. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Pitch over the inner half of the plate, 81 miles an hour, pulled the string with the off speed. Judas readying up. Now the 0-1 pitch. Finds the bottom part of the zone for strike 2.
Judas really making the most of this start. Coach Pickler likes longevity out of his starters and long inning relief. He tries to use as few pitchers as possible as a general strategy.
0-2 to Xavier Casarilla with the bases empty and 1 out. And the pitch. Swinging a foul tip straight back. No balls and 2 strikes. Judas, guy that's expected to be taken in the opening 10 rounds of the upcoming MLB draft. First pitcher to do that from Louisiana Monroe since 2005. He's projected to be. Ahead 0-2, and now the pitch. Called strike 3 on the inner corner. Judas paints the black, and as this outing goes along, he's looking more and more comfortable here in the 4th.
We might even see him for 5, Luke, if he can get rid of the A's quickly here. The YD infield was pinched in the middle infield, now backing up and widening that gap for Caden Hobson up the middle.
Hobson, the lefty, for Tom Holliday's group, comes up with the bases empty, 2 gone. Judas's first pitch. Shoveled on the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. And he is hammering away at the zone right now. Throwing has ceased in the YD bullpen. Judas kicks and deals. That's called strike 2 on the inner corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Judas looking to strike out the side here in the bottom of the 4th.
Would be a really impressive kind of comeback performance considering how this started.
The 0-2 on the way. Bumped foul. And the count remains the same. Judas is not wasting any pitches right now. Nothing in the dirt, not trying to get any chase. He's just hammering away at the zone. Eyeing in on his battery mate, Connor Dykstra gets the start behind the plate for YD today. Here comes the 0-2 for the second time. Jammed foul on the left side. That ends up right in front of the Chatham dugout, and we'll do it again with the count still the same. YD shifted. They've got 3 on the right side and backed up into shallow right field. Brady Day standing with his glove on his left hip. Hanging the arm. Judas now set. The 0-2 offering on the way. Lifted foul behind home plate and out of play.
Judas just had to get all those balls out of his system, and now it's just strike after strike. Has not missed the zone in 5 pitches. More than that.
Hobson not going away quietly here. So we will see another 0-2. Here it is. Another foul ball straight back, and the count is still 0-2. Hobson looking to avoid Chatham's second, or I should say third straight scoreless inning, second straight inning where they really did not generate much. They threatened in the second, but were unable to score. Judas is 0-2. Way up high. That gets by Dykstra all the way to the backstop. There's no runners on, so it won't matter. Instead, we'll do it again at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hobson really choked up on his bat right now, just looking to poke a base hit. Part of the reason why Brady Day is over in shallow right field, likely.
One, 2 on the way. Bounced in the dirt, 4 ball 2, and the count is even. Hobson working a really nice at bat. The Chatham catcher, after walking his first time up, has a couple of balls on after falling down 0-2 to begin the at bat. Two balls, 2 strikes, and pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It took some extra work, but Nick Judas strikes out the side in the bottom of the 4th, and that ends the inning. 9-3 our score here from Veterans Field in Chatham. YD in control as we head to the 5th. That's when we come back. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 5th inning here from Veterans Field. It's 9-3, YD out in front. Casey Cook, the only member of the Red Sox that didn't come to the plate in the last inning at the dish. In the first offering, bounced in the dirt for ball 1. This has been a game of pitchers giving up some runs, but just wearing it and fighting through. Liam Paddock, who gave up a 2 spot and had the bases loaded in the 4th, got out of it, and he's back on the mound for another inning of work here in the top of the 5th frame. 1-0, swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour from the lefty, blew it by him on the inner half, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. On the flip side, Nick Judas really struggled in that first, walked in a run, gave up a couple more in that inning, got more and more comfortable. The 1-1, tapped foul, and Judas struck out the side to end the 4th inning.
It started sprinkling lightly here at Veterans Field. It smells like bug spray and buttered popcorn on an overcast night.
The 1-2. Taken in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's been a pretty exciting ball game so far. Definitely a lot of action off the bat. It's still packed. The bleachers are full. The hill behind the outfield scattered with viewers.
The 2-2, and it hit him. Another hit batter for YD. That's the 4th time that's happened to someone in their order today. And Casey Cook, the leadoff man, is aboard. Connor Dykstra, the catcher in the 9 slot, is 1 for 2. Picked up his first hit of the season in the 2nd inning at the plate. Runner on first, nobody out in a 9-3 game led by the Red Sox. YD looking to climb back up to the top of the standings in the East. First pitch to Dykstra. And that's in there on the bottom part of the zone for strike one. Chatham currently sitting in the bottom of the East Division at 4-8-1. YD 8-5-1, half a game back of Harwich in first. 0-1 pitch. Check swing, and he went around. That's strike two. Dykstra, the lone Canadian on this roster, likely will get more playing time as he platoons with Will King thanks to the departure of Ryan Stafford for Team USA camp. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike three. The breaking ball that he was out in front of. And Dykstra down on strikes for the first time here in the top of the fifth.
The left fielder, number 9, R.J.
Back to the top of the order for YD. R.J. Austin blasted a home run over the left field wall his last time up. He's also been hit by a pitch, has scored 2 of the Red Sox 9 runs. Runner on first with 1 out. YD leading by 6. First pitch. Finds the inner half for strike one. Austin, the Vanderbilt Commodore, who has been lauded for his competitiveness and the edge that he brings to his game by head coach Tim Corbin. 0-1 pitch on the way. Skied high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That went 97 miles an hour from Paddock. Not sure how much I trust that velocity, but it certainly was a burner.
Short lead on first, the 1-1. Misses outside off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. He sits in the low 90s, normally in the 90 to 91 range. That last pitch, a fastball at 90 miles an hour. Comes from a 3/4 arm slot out of the left side. Liam Paddock, the future Gonzaga Bulldog. Looks over at first, now he deals the 2-1. High and away for ball 3.
Gonzaga had a really brutal season. Not a very strong record in 2023. Maybe Paddock will help him out with that.
It's a team that was projected to win the WCC in preseason. 3-1 on the way. And called strike one. Austin had taken 4 steps toward first base, but that one clipped the corner and he will return to a full count.
Sometimes you really can't blame the batter when an umpire takes 3 seconds to make a call. You just don't know.
The 3-2 on the way. And it's called strike 3 on the inside corner. Austin throws his palms to the sky, but that one found the zone. And there's 2 gone following back-to-back strikeouts from Paddock here in the 5th.
The center fielder, Jacob Jenkins Howard.
Jacob Jenkins Coward is 1 for 2. Was one of 4 victims of a hit by pitch in this game for YD his last time up. Also had a single in the second inning. Runner on first, 2 outs. 9-3 Red Sox lead. First pitch to the lefty. Wrapped foul on the right side. 0-1. Jenkins Coward brings a tall stance into the lefty box. Guy who can really slug the ball hard. Star and a big personality out of ECU. Knee lift and a throw over to first as Casey Cook is back with a couple of steps standing up. Sky is a dark shade of gray here in Chatham. Lights on in full effect. 0-1. Finds the bottom of the zone for strike 2. Fastball at 90 miles an hour from Paddock, the lefty, who's provided some inning-eating work here for Tom Holliday and his ball club after the 7 spot in the second inning from YD. 0-2. Jenkins Cowart lifts this one out to deep right field, backing up. Burge at the wall, reaches up and makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Red Sox in the top of the 5th inning. It's still 9-3 YD as we are halfway home from Veterans Field. Back in a moment, you're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the fifth here from Veterans Field in Chatham. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei. It's 9-3, YD leading over Chatham. Top of the order coming up for the Anglers, who went down in order, all on the strikeout in the bottom of the fourth inning. Matt Etzel is 1 for 2 on the day. Righty on lefty, the first offering. Sinks down low from Nick Judas, who is still on the mound for the Red Sox. Up to 74 pitches now after dealing his first pitch here in the bottom of the fifth. Gave up 3 runs, including one that he walked in the first, but has weathered the storm. The 1-0 pitch. Grounded over towards second, coming after it. Day has it against the ground, picks up, throws to first, and it's in time for the out.
Brady Day has been so smooth over at second. That ball was a well-hit bouncer on the ground, had to come over for it, but just picks it up in stride, doesn't even miss a step on the toss over to first.
Bases empty, 1 out for Carson Benj. He digs into the lefty box, hitting .500 on the season coming into this one. The first pitch to him, and he pushes it up the left side, base hit, past the diving effort there from Xander Darby. He takes the turnaround first. Austin hustled to it in left and got it in quickly to hold him to 1. Excellent play out there in left field by the YD outfielder to get that ball in quick. That ball looked like it was certainly destined for the wall, but Austin limits it to just a single for Carson Benj. Now Lyle Miller Green, the righty, in to hit with a runner on first and 1 out. First pitch on the way. And it clips the inside corner for strike 1. YD with a very heavy shift on Miller Green. They've got 3 on the left side of the infield. That's his pull side. And with the first baseman, Dub Gleed, covering the bag, basically the entire right side of the infield is open. 0-1 pitch on the way. Sinks into the other batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Interesting to see Benj not even really take a turnover at first. The first time YD saw him, he burned them for a triple.
Snap throw over to first, and Benj is back with a head first slide.
It was a similar hit up the first baseline instead of third.
Miller Green twirls the bat. He scored 1 of Chatham's runs. That came after he walked in the first. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on the off speed, 83 miles an hour from Judas. Fastball slider changeup for the ULM Warhawk. And he comes set for this 1-2 count. Lifts the knee and fires. Down and in. That ball clips off the dirt, and it's 2-2.
Interesting delayed release on that for Judas, as if he got caught up a little in his stance. There was an extra second there after the knee lift before the toss.
2-2, pitch on the way. Swinging a foul ball straight back.
A late defensive swing from Miller Green.
Looking for his first hit with a runner on first, 1 gone in the bottom of inning number 5. Final game of the 3rd week of the Cape League season for the off day tomorrow. 2-2, here's the pitch. Breaking ball high at the shoulders, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Miller Green, who's already walked once in this game, has the count full. He's wearing the black long sleeve on this day that's turned slightly chilly under the pinstriped white Chatham Anglers uniform. Runner bluffs the payoff. This ball is blasted way out to left field. Austin to the wall, and it is way gone. Don't count Chatham out just yet. Lyle Miller Green hits his 2nd home run of the season, and that cuts the lead down to 4 with that 2-run shot.
That ball was smashed off the bat. It was out of here. Austin jogged over a little bit to put the effort in, but very far out into the woods. That ball will never be seen again. Really strong at bat from Miller Green. Makes the count run full, fouls it off. And that might spell the day for Nick Judas.
Scott Pickler out to the YD mound, and the Red Sox will call to their bullpen as there's a righty that makes the trot out from the foul pole, and will give his warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the 5th. Bases clear out for Chatham. They've cut the lead down to 4 thanks to the 2-run shot by Lyle Miller Green. His second of the season will step aside from Veterans Field. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Matt Fernandez gets his first relief appearance of the season for YD after a couple of starts. Comes in a 9-5 game. Chatham has cut the lead down thanks to a 2-run shot here in the bottom of the 5th from Lyle Miller Green. 4, 5, 6 coming up in the Angler order with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Nolan Schubert is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. For Fernandez, the Pitt Panther this season, appearance number 3 as mentioned. From the wine, the first pitch is twisted foul. Started games on June 13th and June 21st. Guy that can pitch a lot of innings for Scott Pickler. Not unrealistic to say he could close this game out if Pick wanted him to. 0-1. Fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes. Final line on Nick Judas, 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs all earned, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts for the righty from ULM. Fernandez set from the belt, winds, kicks, and deals the 0-2. Low in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fernandez, guy who just had a video published today on the Cape Cod YouTube channel. Check it out. He was mic'd up while pitching. From the first base side, pulls the leg back, the 1-2. Breaks in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
An opposite shift on for Schubert to his pull side as well. I should say opposite to the one we just saw for Miller Green, which didn't matter anyways when he crushed it out of the park. But now Vieira on the right side of second, outfield backed up all the way, almost at the warning track.
The 2-2 deal, swing and a miss, strike 3. 77 miles an hour from the righty. And he had Schubert reaching. That's his first strikeout. 7th now for YD pitching. And there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th. Chris Maldonado coming up. He's 0 for 2. Reached his last time up on a fielder's choice. A ball that was flown to shallow right. First pitch from Fernandez. Grounded over towards the right side. Infield grass eats it up. Day comes around. Lost it in the glove for a second. Recollects and throws to first for out number 3. 2-run shot from Lyle Miller Green, his second of the season, both coming against the Red Sox. Cuts the YD lead down to 4. It's 9-5 as we head to inning number 6 from Veterans Field. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 9-5 ball game. YD out in front from Veterans Field here in Chatham. And a new arm takes the mound for the Anglers. Aiden Finiteri, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket out of Watertown, Connecticut, making his 4th relief appearance of the season. Faces 3-4-5 in the YD order. Max Vieira, who's 2 for 3 with the 2 simplest parts of the cycle at the plate. First pitch to him on the way. And he takes on the inner half for strike 1. Vieira hit a double in the first, struck out in the second, and then singled in the 4th inning. Finiteri kicks and deals. Taken below the zone. That one had some sinking action, and it misses for ball 1. On the season, 0-1 record for him this year in the Cape League. ERA even at 3 in 6 innings pitched. From the wind, the 1-1 to Vieira. Swing and a miss. He was out in front of the 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the dirt. And the count is 1-2. Last pitch on the 21st, Finiteri did against Bourne. The 1-2 pitch, rather, bounced over to third, charging in. Casarilla has it, throws on to first, and it's in time to beat out the speedy Max Vieira for out number 1 here in the top of inning number 6. Hunter Hines now will come up to the plate for YD, 1 for 3, but his hit, perhaps the most important one of this game, the grand slam in the 2nd inning, his 6th home run of the year. And it brought him over the 20 RBI mark in just the 15th game this season for YD. Righty on lefty, Finiteri kicks and deals. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, nubbed over the mound. Ken has to wait on it at short, and it came up on him. He lost it into the outfield. Hines may have had a chance to beat that out. Doesn't have a whole ton of speed, but that ball just took forever to get out to Caden Kent. And maybe just was worried about throwing it as hard as he could over to first before the ball was in his glove. It is ruled a hit for Hunter Hines, so it's a base knock, and he's now 2 for 4, and there's a runner on first with 1 out for Xander Darby. Darby 1 for 2, walked his last time at the dish. Righty on lefty here. First time we'll see Finiteri from the stretch. First offering on the way. Breaks down and in, a back foot breaking ball, 75 miles an hour that time for ball 1.
I think that was the fastest I've seen Hunter Hines running. He was booking it up the first baseline. Full sprint.
1-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses below the zone for ball 2. 87 miles an hour, some more speed that time from Finiteri, but still hasn't shown that fastball yet in this at-bat. Very small lead, as you'd expect on first from Hunter Hines. Righty on lefty, the 2-0. Finds the inner half for strike 1. YD has scored in every other inning so far, scoreless in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th, with runs coming in the 2nd and 4th. The 2-1, lifted to the opposite field and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Xander Darby. Rocking the bright blue on the cleats and on the pads, steps back in, waving the bat with the white batting gloves that are glowing here under the bright lights in Chatham. The 2-2. In there for strike 3, got it on the bottom part of the zone, and Darby is frozen for out number 2.
Really nice pitch from Finiteri.
20 10-year-olds that chased after it. 0-1 pitch. Drops down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a big deal. It's something that is taken very seriously by those kids. They get special balls this year as well. They've got the 100th anniversary stamp on them. 1-1 is the count to Dub Gleed. Wiggling the bat, now the pitch. Slides onto the inner half for strike 2. Finiteri trying to work a scoreless inning in relief here in the top of the 6th. Hines on first. And Gleed looking for his first hit. The 1-2 offering. Drops in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gleed popped out his last time up, flew out the time before that. He was one of 2 YD batters to be hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. 7 spot put up in that frame by YD. The 2-2, low for ball 3. Beneath the zone there, and the count is full with 2 outs. Wind beginning to pick up. It's flying straight out towards center field as indicated by the American flag out there. Deepest part of the ballpark here in Chatham. Payoff on the way. Runner, of course, getting the head start. It flies outside, ball 4.
Runners on first and second for Brady Day, who is 0 for 3.
Number 10, Brady Day.
Day laid down a sac bonus first time up. That was his productive plate appearance of the day. Look at it, gives some more offense here to this YD team. The first pitch to him. Drops into the dirt for ball 1. Day, fly out and a pop out, both to the right side, his last 2 times up at the dish. Ahead 1-0, the pitch. Low in the same spot, 2 balls, no strikes. Crowd has thinned out a little bit here in Chatham. Still pretty sizable, but definitely not quite at its strength that it was at first pitch. A little bit chillier as we made our way into the night hours. 2-0, here it comes. Lined out towards right field, backing up on it, Schubert in position, and he makes the catch at the warning track for out number 3. Good contact to the opposite field. Day hits it on a line, but right at the glove of Schubert, and that retires the side. YD goes quietly for the second inning in a row as the Red Sox can't play another run. 9-5 our score. We head to the bottom of the 6th from Veterans Field. This is YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Baseman from the University of Hawaii, number 10, Kitei.
9-5 our score. Bottom 6 from Chatham as YD leaders over the Anglers. Retaking the mound, Matt Fernandez worked a 2-run 5th inning. Off runners that the first pitch comes in, lifted out towards center field. Oncoming, catch is made by Jenkins Coward for out number 1. A little bit of a shaky throw back in towards the infield there. Might have tripped and fallen on route 2. I was going to say that Fernandez came in after that pair of runs was scored in the 5th. So they went against Nick Judas. First out of the 6th inning, and now Caden Kent moving up. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Righty on lefty. Fernandez into the wind and pitch. Down low for ball 1.
Another shift on, this one all the way to the right side. Day backpedaling into shallow right field.
The knee lift and 1-0. Breaking ball jammed foul. One might have hit something up in the press box area to our left. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Fernandez eyeing in, and now he sets. The knee lift and the 1-1 pitch. That one misses away for ball 2. Here at Veterans Field, the origin of broadcasting in the Cape Cod Baseball League began in the early 2000s, with Chatham being the first team to stream their games live. The 2-1, low for ball 3. Their broadcaster at the time was a man by the name of Dan Duva, who now is the radio voice of the Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. Duva still serves as a media assistant, mentors the broadcasters in this league to this day. 3-1 the count to Kent, and the pitch. She lays down a bunt up the third base line, and this is a beauty, but it just clips off the infield grass, and that carries it foul.
What a brilliant call. He had that beat by a mile, and it was so close to staying fair, went foul just before the bag.
So he'll return to a full count. Bases empty in the bottom of the 6th, and 9-5 our score with YD in front of Chatham. Caden Kent, the lefty, back in, waving the tan bat. Texas A&M Aggie readies up. Fernandez brings the foot back. The payoff pitch. Swinging a foul tip off the glove of Dykstra, but he can't hold, and we will do it again. 89 miles an hour on the gun from Fernandez. 3 balls and 2 strikes, still the count to Kent. Looking to avoid going down on strikes for the 3rd time. Now the pitch comes home. This one pushed out towards left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Backhand field out there in left by R.J. Austin. Another play out there that prevents a 2-bagger. But it's a single from Caden Kent as he is aboard for the first time.
Austin showing off the speed in left field. He's had a couple errors out there that we've seen so far this season, but today has been spectacular.
Xavier Casarilla at the plate. He's got a walk and a strikeout in his 2 plate appearances on the day. First he'll see of Matt Fernandez. Runner on first, and the first pitch to the righty. Breaks into the top of the zone for strike 1. 1 out here in game number 15 in the bottom of the 6th of YD's summer season. Red Sox currently sit in 2nd place in the East Division, half a game back of the Harwich Mariners. 0-1. Just off the inner corner. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox will be in Wareham to take on the Gatemen. First time the Red Sox will be there. That's following the off day tomorrow, so that'll be in a couple of nights. A 6 p.m. first pitch from Spillane Field. 1-1 the count to Casarilla. The pitch, swing and a miss up high in the zone at the shoulders. And that makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good news for the Red Sox. Harwich falling today to Bourne by a 5-3 score. And that means YD could retake the division lead that these 2 teams have been trading by the end of the night if they could hold on to this score line. Throw over to first to check on the runner from Fernandez.
YD infield shifted to the left now, so Day covering the bag on the potential steal. Haven't seen any steal attempts from either team today.
1-2 lifted up, and on top of the YD dugout it will land. It stays 1-2. A lot of hard hit balls today, home runs galore, extra base hits, but not as much activity on the base paths as we're used to seeing. Dykstra moves outside, the 1-2, flies that way and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fernandez hanging the right arm, eyeing in on his battery mate. Temperature has dropped significantly over the last 15 minutes or so. He's now set at the belt. The 2-2. Hit well out to deep right center, or left center field rather, coming over on a Jenkins Coward. He's called off by the left fielder Austin, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Runner retreating to first. Ball that was pushed, and the wind just took it over to the left side towards the gap, and that allowed R.J. Austin to cover that ground. 2 gone for the man at the bottom of the order, Caden Hobson, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Strikeout victim his last time up. Fernandez set on bump. And now the pitch. Drops low for ball 1. Fernandez working in his first relief appearance of the season after starting his first 2 for the Red Sox. Pitt Panther deals the 1-0. And that finds the inner corner for strike 1. Guy who started 2 games this past spring for the Panthers, came out of the bullpen in 10 appearances. Set for the 1-1, righty on lefty. The pitch. Hobson grounds it right over to first base. It's squeezed against the ground by Gleed, and he'll take the step over to first and apply it himself for out number 3. Scoreless for both teams in the 6th. We head to the final 3 innings here from Veterans Field in Chatham. Still 9-5, YD in the lead. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the 7th at Veterans Field, Casey Cook, who had a hit earlier in the game, a double, and was reached base on a hit by pitch, is at the plate for the Red Sox, still facing Finiteri, who deals a first pitch strike on the bottom of the zone. The light rain that was peppering us earlier has now stopped, as game time has passed 2 hours. The 0-1 hits the top of the zone and the count's 0-2. Finiteri, the stare down, kick, throw. Cook offers at it, just foul up the first base line, luckily, because Donahue was all over that. Just a defensive swing from Casey Cook, kind of poking his bat out. It's the bottom of the lineup for YD. They're going to go 8-9-1. The 0-2 just off the outside, ball 1. Regular infield shifted towards the lines. The biggest gap is in the middle. Outfield standing back. The 1-2 on the way. Cook check swing. Did not go. Ball 2 below the knees. Counts 2-2 to Casey Cook. Finiteri deals. Cook pops it up towards right field. Coming in on it. Benj makes the grab. Out number 1. Just soft contact off the bat of Casey Cook. Straight in the direction of Benj, and a routine out is the first in the 7th. Brings up Connor Dykstra in the 9th spot, the Canadian out of Chilliwack, British Columbia. Holds off on a first pitch ball. Singled in his first at-bat, his first hit of the Cape League season so far. Since then, a flyout and a strikeout swinging. The 1-0 fouled towards the dugout for Chatham. He straightens up, taps the plate, now back in his stance in the righty box. Wiggling around a bit, the 1-1, hammered out towards left field, and that is over the scoreboard. Connor Dykstra, a no-doubter off the bat. 10 hits, 10 runs, YD leads 10-5.
Hard to believe that with the rain and with the thickness of the air, balls are carrying this well, but that was just muscled out by Dykstra, a guy who came in hitless on the season with some limited appearances, but got that first hit, poking a single towards the right side. That was anything but a little poke job. That ball was blasted over the scoreboard.
Brings up RJ Austin, who had a solo shot of his own. Takes strike 1 down the pipe. It's been an exciting offensive game here tonight. 15 runs up on the board, no errors for either team. The 0-1 at the top of the zone, counts 0-2 to Austin, who has continued his hitting streak. Been really solid in the leadoff spot. Ball 1 misses just outside. Austin holds off, yet to swing. We've seen him hold off in the early parts of the count. The 1-2 on the way. Austin offers, and it's fouled back out of play. Count remains 1-2. The 1-2 just outside. Austin ducks down a little bit. Count evens up 2-2, 1 out. YD leads 10-5 in the top of the 7th. Finiteri deals. Austin's almost hit for the second time today, but pulls back. And it's a full count. Finiteri fires the payoff. Austin takes inside, ball 4, battles back from an 0-2 count, and the Red Sox have a runner aboard. brings up Jacob Jenkins-Cowart in the 2 spot.
Number 19, the center fielder,
1 for 3.
Jenkins-Cowart.
Has also reached after being hit by a pitch, one of many hit by pitch victims today. The fresh count. Jenkins-Cowart takes ball 1 inside. Austin, a big lead. Interested to see if we'll see our first steal attempt of the day. Austin already has a couple on the season. Playing with Vinatieri out there. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. The 1-1 fouled back right towards our faces. Could have caught it if there wasn't a net. Some cheerful kids running past our table screaming about fishing that home run ball out of the woods. I hope there's no poison ivy back there.
Probably had to go about, that was Dystra's home run, about 150 feet deep in those woods with how hard that ball was hit.
Counts 1-2. Austin goes diving back to first on the pickoff from Vinatieri. Almost got him. Austin has already had a few base running mistakes this season, getting caught in rundowns between first and second after leading to no man's land. The 1-2 foul tip rolls out of the glove of Hobson. Jenkins-Cowart stays alive. Count stays the same.
RJ Austin is very eager to run on first base. That last pitch, it got foul tipped, and as soon as he saw that ball pop out of the glove, he took off towards second, but then realized that it was not a live ball.
The 1-2 again, grounded up the middle, a chance for 2. The first one at second, the second one at first, and Jenkins-Cowart grounds into a double play. That retires the side, but Dykstra added a run. The score is 10-5 as we head to the stretch. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Back for the bottom of the 7th, the score is 10-5 with the Red Sox in the lead. With a win tonight, they'll retake first place in the East Division. They've been going back and forth the past couple games with the Harwich Mariners, whom they beat on the road just a couple nights ago. Matt Fernandez deals the first pitch. Misses just below the zone for ball 1. Top of the order for the Anglers, it's Matt Etzel. Out of Southern Miss, Fernandez resets. Regular infield. Dykstra gets ready. The pitch. Check swing. Called strike 1. Etzel batted leadoff in all 66 games for Southern Mississippi, so unsurprising to see him there tonight. Fernandez fires ball 2, low and away. Counts 2-1 with no outs. Bottom of the 7th. The A's in quite a bit of a hole. The outfield is deep, slightly shifted to left. The 1-2, or the 2-1 rather, swung on and missed, and the count's 2-2. We're in for a long night here in Chatham. It's already been 2 hours and 15 minutes of game time. The 2-2 spiked on the ground, and it's a full count. Etzel had a single in his first at-bat, started out strong, since got rung up and grounded out in his last time around. He takes some practice chops, gets back into his stance. Ump calls time. And now Etzel back. The lefty facing a full count. Fernandez fires. Called. Check swing did not go around. I thought that might sneak in there, but Fernandez walks the lead off. And Etzel's aboard for the second time today for Carson Bench. Bench singled his last time around, also reached on a walk in the first. His last hit was a beauty up the third baseline on the ground, but Austin in left field did a really good job coming over on it. Looks like there's been some defensive substitutions. Might be Nathan Archer out in left field. It's certainly no longer R.J. Austin. As ball one is in for Carson Bench. Resets back into his stance, bouncing the knees. Dykstra up the pitch. At the top of the zone, strike one. It's Etzel on first. He takes his lead, sliding mid on the right hand. Fernandez dangling the arm, checks the runner. Set at the belt. The kick and deal, high, ball two. Etzel retakes the lead. The infield pinched in towards second. Outfield playing deep. The 2-1 swung on and missed, a huge swing from Bench. And the count evens up at 2. Still no outs in the bottom of the 7th, with one runner aboard for the A's. The 2-2 fouled back towards my face, and the count is the same. Another 2-2 on the way, below the zone, and another full count for Fernandez. Etzel not taking much of a lead over at first. Chatham trying to play for as many base runners as possible, facing a 5-run deficit in the bottom of the 7th. The 3-2 runner goes on the way, and the throw goes all the way to the outfield. Just Dykstra missed on that, and Etzel slides in safely.
The designated hitter from Austin P, number 13, Lyle Miller Green.
So Benj goes down swinging on the strikeout, but Etzel advances into scoring position. The hit and run, half successful. A quick meeting on the mound between Dykstra and Fernandez.
It's a righty out warming in the Whitey bullpen.
And it's Lyle Miller Green who hit a bomb in his last time around. Also reached on a walk in the first. Holds off on a first pitch ball below the knees. Miller Green, 6'5" in that righty batter's box. Now set back in his stance. Right foot slightly behind the left, the 1-0. Well hit towards center field, but this one into the diving glove of Jenkins Cowart. Etzel tags and advances on third, but what a grab from Jenkins Cowart, displaying the length. And there's 2 outs.
Ball just hung up long enough. And a really nice catch. And not one that was lucky either. You could tell he had that ground covered and showing off his wheels defensively.
And that's really the first time we've seen him challenged like that, and he stepped up to the plate. Big shift on for Schubert. It's not even a shift, just distance shift. Day back in the shallow outfield at second. Vieira on the grass, first pitch on the way, in the dirt, ball 1. 2 outs, Etzel threatening on third. Vieira over towards his right a little bit, behind the bag at second. Counts 1-0 to the Oklahoma State Cowboy. Pitch on the way. Misses, low and away, ball 2. YD still playing really deep, just trying to protect from the extra base hits. The 2-0 in the dirt, ball 3. A favorable count for Schubert. Chris Maldonado on deck. The Vanderbilt Commodore. Lines are protected. The 3-0 misses below the zone, ball 4. Second walk of the day for Nolan Schubert, who's now reached base 3 times in 4 plate appearances.
Yeah, nice day at the plate for him. He's had a good disciplined eye. And Fernandez still in a favorable position with 2 outs. He had that base open, but in this type of game, just trying to shut down any base runners you can get for Chatham, this is an opportunity you feel you have to strike on at least once or twice.
This is the first time Fernandez has really been challenged. First pitch to Maldonado, swung on, tried to check it, did go around, strike 1. At first, that swing had a lot of power on it, and then he tried to stop it just too late. Made for an awkward-looking failed check swing. Counts 0-1 with 2 outs. Runners on the corners. YD leads 10-5. Pitch on the way. Grounded foul up the third base line. And the count is 0-2. Fernandez could end it with a pitch. Maldonado reached on a fielder's choice. 0 for 3 at the plate, faces an 0-2 count. Holds off on ball 1. Middle infield pinched towards second. Big gap between first and second as Gleed is covering the runner on the bag. Fernandez, glove at the belt. And it just started pouring rain. Out of absolutely nowhere. The rain is just coming down. There's some cheers around the ballpark as everyone's sprinting for their umbrellas. The count's still 1-2. Pitch on the way from Fernandez. Well hit out towards center field. But Jenkins Cowart is there. His second put out of the inning retires the side. We head to the top of the 8th at a rainy Veterans Field. YD leads 10-5. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th at Veterans Field. Things definitely clearing out a little bit after that weird rain burst. Came in really quickly, ended just as quickly as it started. Now it's basically cleared up.
Number 29, Max Vieira.
No more rain anymore. It was these huge, thick raindrops came pouring down out of nowhere. But now completely stopped for Max Vieira, leading things off for the Red Sox. And he takes a first pitch ball on the outside. Vieira hits it well out towards center field, but skied. Etzel going back on it, makes the catch at the warning track. Out number 1 looked good off the bat, but slowed visibly in the air. Etzel wasn't too concerned, took a few steps and waited on it.
Despite all the home runs, all the hard hitting, it's been a graveyard out there in center. Nothing really has dropped. A lot of it finding gloves, even stuff hit really hard.
The first pitch ball to Hunter Hines bounces in the dirt in the righty batter's box. Hines, the lefty, has a grand slam and a single today, has also reached on a fielder's choice. Almost swung, but held back on strike 1. Counts 1-1 with an out in the top of the 8th. The 1-1, outside, ball 2. Aiden Finiteri still on the mound for the A's. The infield shifted towards the lines. Bigger gap up the center. The 2-1 on the way. At the letter is for ball 3. Outfield way backed up. Hines facing a 3-1 count. Finiteri delivers at the bottom of the zone, but just missed. Hines walks on base for the 4th time today.
Yeah, had that swing and miss the first time up for the strikeout. There's been none of that since. He's known when to swing. He's known when to take. It's been a really, really, really disciplined day for Hunter Hines at the plate.
Brings up Xander Darby, who's 1 for 3 with a single, also reached on a walk. Takes a first pitch fastball at 85 miles an hour, just at that bottom of the zone. Same pitch Finiteri was going for Hines when he just missed. On ball 4, the 0-1 hit well up towards the left center gap, and it drops for a base hit. Hines rounds second, but holds back. Darby took a big round as well, and he stays on first. There will be a quick meeting on the mound, but the infield disperses as quickly as they started coming in. Another nice single for Xander Darby.
But the day he's had, a couple of base hits, and he is tracking the ball really well.
It's Dub Gleed. He was hit by pitch and has reached on a walk today. The other 2 were flyouts. First pitch to him, popped up towards right field. Coming over on it is Benj. Hines tags up. The throw is coming, and it's cut off at second. Runners on the corners for YD with an out in the top of the 8th when they lead 10-5. 2 outs now. Third flyout of the day for Gleed, who's just been under it slightly. And it's Brady Day, who is hitless as well. First pitch to him, in there for strike 1. Finiteri stretches out his shoulders, gets into the stretch. Checks his runner on first, now third, back to the batter, kicks and deals, grounded up the third baseline, foul. Day out to an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Finiteri trying to limit the damage with runners on the corners. It's Hines the leadoff, or the lead runner on third. Darby on first after a nice piece of hitting, a liner single to left center. The 0-2 today, fouled back into the net, just barely got a piece underneath to stay alive. Vinatieri kicking the mound. Now back into his stance. Darby with a small lead, Hines a small lead as well. Another 0-2. Grounded up towards first base. Donahue has it, steps on the bag unassisted. That retires the side. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. The score remains 10-5 on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Kyson Donahue leading off for the A's in the bottom of the 8th. They trail by 5. The score is 10-5. And it's Cole Hillier on the mound, who has become a closer for the Red Sox. As of late, he deals a first pitch strike at the bottom of the zone for Donahue, who is hitless on the day, but he does have a sacrifice fly. Regular infield, the 0-1 fouled behind him. And the count is 0-2 as Hillier off to a solid start. Some misty rain has started up again, not the fat drops that were falling in the last inning. The 0-2 high and away for ball 1. Hillier squats, nods, gets into his stance. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Hillier starts the day with a strikeout.
Now batting for Chatham, the shortstop from Texas A&M.
Hillier, a strikeout-heavy pitcher, had 4 of them through his first 2 1/3 for YD this season, and that ball was just blown right by him.
Brings up Caden Kent, the lefty, shortstop, who holds off on a first pitch ball, missed just outside. Scoreboard reads 47 miles an hour, but I'm thinking that's not the case. Hillier, the kick, the pitch, up towards short, over the head of Vieira. Just a nice bloop single, good piece of hitting from Kent. He's 2 for 4 on the day, and he's aboard with 1 out.
Now batting for Chatham, the third baseman from Seminole State College, number 22, Xavier Tesarilla.
Xavier Casarilla trying to get a rally going for his team. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. So he has reached base. The first pitch inside, ball 1. A big stretch from Hillier. It's a righty on righty battle. Kent takes a solid lead at first. We've seen 1 stolen base today from the A's. Pitch on the way, low, ball 2. The arm swinging for Hillier. Glove at the belt. The pitch on the way, fouled back and out of play. And the count is even, or it's 2-1 with an out. Widey outfield deep, the shift on to the left side. Day just on the right side of second, the 2-1. Misses inside, ball 3. Vieira standing about regular, as is Darby. It's really just Day that's shifted over. And because Gleed is covering the bag, there's nobody between first and second. The 3-1. Hit well out towards left field. Nathan Archer coming over, makes the grab, holds up the runner. And there's 2 outs.
Wind is kind of shifted now. That looked like it almost got kicked down a little bit. It was hit better than a shallower shot that it ended up being. But regardless, clever gallop from Nathan Archer, and now we will get a pinch hitter for Chatham.
It's Sam Antonacci, who we've seen in the leadoff spot in a previous meeting between these two teams. Kent still on first. He was held up on that fly ball. Hillier sets first pitch. Just outside. Dykstra can't frame it for ball 1. A very safe lead from Kent on first. And strike 1 finds the middle of the zone, the off speed at 81 miles an hour. Counts 1-1 for Antonacci. Score is 10-5 at the bottom of the 8th inning at Veterans Field. The 1-1 grounded up towards short. Vieira has it. And the play is in time over to second. Day tags it on the run. A very close play, but beautiful teamwork between Vieira and Brady. Day retires the side. We head to the top of the 9th. It's 10-5 Red Sox on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Jacob Christian, first pinch hitter of the day for Coach Pickler, something we expected. I don't think we've had a game without pinch hitters in the late innings, and it's Jacob Christian who takes a first pitch ball from a new pitcher on the mound. Actually, it's Finiteri who stayed out here. They announced a new pitcher over the public address speakers, but Finiteri back out. He'll close this one. Jacob Christian, earlier today, committed to the University of San Diego. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. He previously played at Point Loma Nazarene University, had a really successful career there, and now holds the all-time record for home runs at the school after just 2 seasons. Congratulations to him. The 1-1 popped up, flied in foul territory. There might be a play on it, but it's just out. Was inches away from hitting somebody sitting in the bleachers. I think it missed, but I'm honestly not really sure. Donahue was jogging over to see if there was a play on it, but it was well beyond the fence, and the count is 1-2. Finiteri deals. Christian swings through and goes down swinging. That's strike 3. He'll walk back to the dugout, out number 1 in the top of the 9th.
The catcher, number 22, Connor Dykstra.
Bottom of the order, it's Connor Dykstra, who hit a solo shot, absolutely smashed it over the scoreboard his last time around. Really successful day for him today. He's 2 for 4. Holds off on a first pitch ball. Regular infield, outfield shifted slightly over towards the right. Schubert over towards the left side. Dykstra backs up, has to duck away from ball 2. That one next to his helmet. It's quiet now, and it's really cleared out here at Veterans Field, thanks both to the rain and the score. The 2-0 to Dykstra, swung on and missed. Counts 2-1. YD took a big lead in the second and hasn't looked back since. The score is 10-5 in the top of the 9th, thanks to 11 hits, 3 home runs. Finiteri delivers. Dykstra holds off. It's a called strike 2, and the count is even. Two and 2 with 1 out. The Anglers will have 3 more outs to make a difference in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-2 misses below the zone. It's a full count. Finiteri standing straight up, deep breath now into the windup. The payoff hit very well out towards right field, going back to the wall. And at the wall, Carson Benge robs what could have been home run number 2 for Connor Dykstra. Hung up in the air forever. But a nice grab from Benge on that warning track saves the day, and there's 2 outs.
This field, dimensions-wise, isn't incredibly small, but it looks small when you are standing around it, and it certainly plays small. This has been a game filled with home runs, and that nearly was another.
It's Nathan Archer at the plate. The lefty came in for R.J. Austin. Subbed in as a defensive substitution out in left field. We've seen this quite a bit. Archer has some speed and power of his own, has 2 home runs on the season. Counts 1-0. And ball 2 misses outside, same spot. Archer has been here since day 1. Shrugs his shoulders, gets into his stance, wiggling the bat. The deep breath and wind, pitch. Big swing from Archer on a ball above the zone, and the count's 2-1. The infield shifted a little bit towards the lines. Pretty well spread out, the 2-1. Outside, high and away for ball 3. 3 balls, a strike, and 2 outs to the Red Sox. Finiteri closing this out for the Anglers after coming in relief a few innings ago. The 3-1 finds the bottom of the zone, strike 2. It's another full count. Archer held off, no swing on that. The payoff, chopped foul up the first base line. Archer about to face the 7th pitch of this at-bat as the umpire calls for a new ball. Archer swings the bat in a circle, now back into his stance, knees bent, shoulders up. The deep breath, wind and deal. Hit well out towards right field, and it's another home run. Nathan Archer's 3rd of the season comes in to pinch hit and delivers. A solo shot from Nathan Archer, and it's 11-5.
Wow, Nathan Archer, that ball was crushed. That was up the hill. That was a no-doubter.
Number 19, the center fielder, Jenkins Coward.
Well, came in as a substitute for R.J. Austin, who had quite the day of his own, and gets to add himself to the scorebook in quite a memorable way. It's Jacob Jenkins Cowart. Facing the first pitch, it's below the knees for ball 1. As talked about earlier, Luke, a stagnant day for the offense yesterday came in today and showing why they're one of the best offensive teams in the league. The 1-0, cracked up, broken bat towards shallow middle infield. Maldonado, the second baseman, makes the grab, and we're headed to the bottom of the 9th. YD leads by 6. It's 11-5, and the Anglers just 3 outs left. We'll see what they can do. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Number 12, Matt Etzel.
Back to the leadoff again. It's Matt Etzel, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Walked in his last at-bat. Has had a pretty solid day, all things considered, but trying to start a rally here as he faces Cole Hillier, who delivers a first pitch strike on the outside of the zone. The Anglers have a lot of work to do if they want to get back in this game, facing a 6-run deficit. The 0-1 is outside, and the count evens 1-1. The infield is regular. Outfield steps before the warning track. The 1-1 away again, ball 2. Hillier, a teammate, well, I should say now former teammate of Jacob Christian over at Point Loma Nazarene, a D2 powerhouse in California. The 2-1 outside, ball 3. He's been really, really solid in relief, going short relief in these last couple innings. Helped YD out a couple games ago in the 10th to secure their second walk-off victory of the season. It's a 3-1 count to Etzel. He's already walked today. The kick and pitch flown out towards left field. Archer is there and makes the grab. 1 out, down to left.
The right fielder from Oklahoma State, number 7, Carson Benj.
It's Carson Benj, the right fielder, who robbed 1 home run last inning but could do nothing to stop the other one. One for 3 on the day. The first pitch, a fastball, kisses the outside, strike 1. Benj also walked in the beginning part of that rough start for Judas. The 0-1 misses for ball 1. A regular infield once again. No more defensive substitutions. This might be the fewest defensive subs we've seen. The 1-1 swung on and missed, strike 2. One and 2 count with an out to Carson Benj. Pitch on the way. Hit well but foul up the third base line. Looked good for a second and then just tracked towards the left. Count remains 1 and 2. Hillier winds and delivers. Pushed foul once again, same spot.
It's a much lower leverage situation for Hillier to come into here in this game. Had a comfortable lead to work with compared to that high pressure 10th like you mentioned his last time out. He's been very strong in both appearances though.
The 1-2 swung on, check swing. Did not go around. It's a drop third strike. YD saying tag him. Instead, Dykstra chases that all the way to the backstop. Benj could have beaten that out if he tried. He just stood at home plate.
Yeah, he got a shrug from his third base coach there. He didn't think he went around, and that's why he didn't run that one out. But the third base umpire disagreed, and that ball got all the way to the backstop, and he just kind of stood there. That's a really tough play, and a play that I don't think is really covered in the baseball rulebook when you have to appeal like that on a wild pitch that's taken for strike 3.
Yeah, definitely really interesting to see if he went around. I don't know if he did. Unfortunate break for the Anglers, who are down to their final out, and it's Lyle Miller-Green, the home run hitter, has a big swing and miss. Count evens up 1 and 1. Miller-Green is the last hope for the A's. There's a shift on 3 to the left. The 1-1 misses on the outside for ball 2. Hillier trying to close things out on what's been a really solid team performance up and down the lineup for the Red Sox. The kick and deal missed again, ball 3. These last 2 balls have been extremely close. The call's just not going Hillier's way. Gleed, the only one covering between first and second. Day on the left side of second. Darby protecting the line, the 3-1. Inside, ball 4, and Miller-Green walks. So the A's have 1 base runner aboard for Nolan Schubert, another Oklahoma State Cowboy, freshman All-American. Still facing a 6-run deficit. It's 11-5. 12 hits, 11 runs for the Red Sox. 6 hits, 5 runs for the A's. Not a bad day overall, but YD, the power they've displayed today has been something special to watch. First pitch finds the zone, strike 1. Day backed up to the shallow infield. Vieira and Darby splitting the distance between second and third. The 0-1 on the ground. Day has it. The throw to first is in time, and that's the game. The Red Sox win 11-5 in a lengthy battle that started off not so strong, and in that second inning, YD just poured it on and kept on going through 9. The Red Sox move to 9-5 4-1 and take first place in the Eastern Division. Luke, the hitting we saw today, I don't think we've seen anything like it throughout the season in one game. What was that like, seeing them bounce back from yesterday to have this performance today?
Yeah, it's big for this team, big for the Bats specifically, that, like you mentioned, they've been up and down. But I think what we've learned through these first 3 weeks of the season now as we head into the off day is that when this team is clicking, they are clicking. That was a big second inning that they had. They showed tremendous power, but I think it really speaks to the commitment that Scott Pickler has constantly gone back to when talking to him this year, the commitment for his players and for his guys to really buy into what they're doing and just being purposeful in their approach. Like you mentioned, it seems like every time they have a poor performance at the plate, they respond and put up big numbers the next night. That's exactly what happened here tonight, and it's not by accident.
Absolutely, Luke. A solid performance heading into the off day. YD also only had to use 3 pitchers, something that was at risk after the first inning from Judas. They will go to Wareham on Wednesday when we return from the off day. It's been Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley. Thank you so much for listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.